Scene 1. 1,000 years ago. Heart of the Oberoni Forest. Lota, the ruling druid king, wakes from a nightmare. He begins investigating what caused his unsettling feelings.
What?
Lota?
Nicey, my love. I woke up to this.
Is the grass dead?
Not exactly. My prayers aren't enough to restore it to life. It's as if something is wrong with the plant life. I have to keep channeling my prayer for long periods of time to stave off the discolored grasses.
Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence.
Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence. Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence. Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence. It's working!
There we are then, my love. In the morning, we will have more light to see the extent of whatever this is.
Right.
Why are you up in the midst of the night?
I woke up with this terrible feeling, so I investigated, and I found whatever that was.
That's alright. It'll be alright. We already know we can pray to Avani together and undo the damage.
I suppose so.
Scene 2. 11 years ago, Hemlock Lagoon Settlement. On a boat that is returning home from a trading post, Tirtha and Kellman begin a conversation.
What's the matter?
I always feel heavy when we return from trading.
What? Tired from traveling? We all feel that way now and again.
It's not that. Something always feels off here. Wrong. Unnatural. Like using magic in the middle of a forest.
I never thought about that before.
I don't know what it is. Don't worry about it. It's probably just me. But I should begin looking for plants again later today or tomorrow.
You should. The last batch of dyes you made turned out beautifully.
I think I'll use tonight to rest. Then I'll head out scouting for the plants that I can harvest. And if I find any plants that can be harvested, who knows, I may start a fresh batch of dyes.
And if you see anything I can use...
Of course. Do you need anything specific?
Well, with it being early spring, anything I can use in fever remedies.
Eucalyptus, mint, cinnamon. Got it.
Scene 3. 11 years ago. Purified Forest. This is the day-to-day activity of a lone druid.
Althor sat before a small patch of blighted grass. He held his hand over the infected area and then he whispered a prayer to Avani, the nature goddess. He pleaded for her aid in healing the unsettling presence in the forest. A faint smile crossed his lips when the grass returned to normal. Satisfied that the blighted area had been healed, he pushed himself up. He began walking the path again, looking for other patches of the ethereal blight that plagued the sacred place where one of Avani's children once walked. The brunette man stopped. He stooped down beside another area affected by the blight. He repeated the same prayer he always said on behalf of ousting the blight around the swamp. After the blight was gone, he continued on his way, walking on the dirt path towards the edge of the purified area.
Scene 4. Present day, Stormtide Beach. 3 of the Sama, a warmongering race of mortals, wake up and find that they are shipwrecked and stranded.
Wake up!
Oh, where are we? And how long have we been here?
Your guess is as good as any of ours, but we're surrounded by salt water, it looks like it's going to storm again, and by the Creator God, we can only guess what supplies we have.
We should find out before the clouds break. May the 8 protect us.
Yes, of course. Let's begin searching for supplies. I'll be searching for an area to make camp away from the ocean should there be flooding.
Scene 5. Present day, Purified Forest. Izar, a high elf mage, decides to show her husband Rurik the results of her latest experiment.
It's right over here. I need somebody else to see this.
Alright, I'm coming. But what about this is so urgent?
I've been studying this blight, which, according to all of you, is everywhere, and not just where I've been in this swamp.
Alright. And from your insistence and eagerness, I assume you found something?
I think so. This is the second jar I've had to keep this sample in.
Why'd you change jars? And why is there dust?
To answer both of your questions, because that dust was the first jar.
The Blight did that?
It did. Whatever it is, it seems that it doesn't just make things wilt and die.
Then what does it do?
Based on what it did to the glass jar I had it in, it makes things age rapidly.
And what would it do to a person, you think?
That is decidedly not an experiment I want to find an answer to. But based on what it did to this glass jar after a week, I imagine that a person would age to death within the same time frame.
Ugh, that...
Exactly. So I don't know if that helps us find a permanent solution to this blight or not yet, but at least we know what it does, rather than just thinking it's some unnatural plague.
For all we know, it is an unnatural plague, unless you found out what causes it.
Right, I misspoke. We know what it does, so it's more than just an unnatural plague.
So any idea why Althor can dispel it?
His powers are granted by the goddess of nature. If anything is going to dispel something unnatural, it'd be the magics of Avani.
Do you think Tirtha has ever tried? Since she should also be able to use Avani's magic.
I don't know, you're the one who's known her forever, so you'd have to tell me.
It never occurred to me to ask until right now.
That's fine, but that said, we ought to take this jar to go have Althor do something about it.
Scene 6. 1,000 years ago, outskirts of Avanian village. An ethereal being crosses from the ethereal plane to the mortal plane.
Watching, curious, from beyond the veil they sat, these mortal beings, strange and contradictory, seemed more and more curious the longer they were watched. A deeper understanding became longed for more than just what watching could give. The very concept of time stepped across the ethereal veil. The entity found itself among the models he enjoyed watching. Curious about itself, the concept of time approached the nearby still water. It looked down at the reflection of its mortal form. Sharp, yet attractive features stared back at him. It had taken on the appearance of a male, a dark-skinned elf, with red eyes and dark flaxen hair that draped over his shoulders in wisps. He looked up when he heard the rustling of leaves.
Oh, by the gods, what are you doing here? What is your name?
I wandered here, and my name is Tirtha.
You must be cold. Come with me. We can get you something to wear.
Scene 7. Present day, Stormtide Beach. Several of the Selma begin discussing their survival plan.
What are we going to do for water?
After resting, we can begin carving out a dip in the rocks further back from the salt water. We can then move the water magically. Then we can begin separating the salt from the water by boiling the water in the few pans that were recovered. That way, we move the fresh water into a separate pool of water. Keep a small pool of water for now, until we can find one.
And what do we do otherwise?
We wait out the storm. We'll begin hunting for our food soon after that. There has to be fruit nearby, if nothing else. That should feed us and keep us hydrated.
Scene 8. 998 years ago, Avanian village. The ethereal being now has reason to feel attached to the mortal plane.
You are so beautiful, so precious. You will live a long, happy life and have children of your own, my son. You will one day know this sensation of simultaneous joy and fear. Your mother and I are going to make certain you have a happy life.
Scene 9. 12 years ago, Sky Point City. Izar's experiences start to shape her life's path.
Izar sighed happily as she put down her book. As far as the young woman was concerned, it was another masterpiece about magic, knowledge, love, and a search for all three of those things. She picked up her pen and the notebook she kept on hand at all times, before looking at it for a moment, contemplating her next action. She glanced to either side of herself. On one side, a stack of tomes and books for the study of magic, and on the other, a similarly sized stack of romance novels. She smiled and returned her attention to the notebook. Opening it up, she put her pen to paper, where she had left off on the first draft of her own masterpiece to be.
Scene 10. 11 years ago. Purified Forest. Tirtha is walking through a vibrant, colorful forest where she has never been before. Althor is suspicious of visitors.
So beautiful.
And just who are you?
I'm a dye maker. I'm collecting the plants I need, see?
I see. And what are you doing here?
I was scouting for plants and berries that ripen in the early spring, and I found this beautiful forest.
Right. My forest, which I didn't give you permission to enter. Why are you in my forest?
Your forest? What do you mean?
I'm its caretaker. I make sure it doesn't end up looking like the swamps surrounding it.
You're a druid?
I am.
That's amazing. Oh, you've done something wonderful. This place is so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Tirtha. Tirtha Camperspring.
Althor Grimleaf.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Avani truly selected a wonderful guardian for this place.
If you're done trying to flatter me...
Flatter you? I'm not trying to flatter you. I truly can't express to you how beautiful and peaceful this place is to me.
So you allege.
Is something the matter?
Nobody comes out this far. Ever.
This is the first time I've ever come this far. But I try to spread out where I collect plants to use. So here I am.
I see.
You don't have to worry. No others would wander out this far. The others I know would rather stay close to where they're settled. That's quite a distance from here. Nobody will ruin your efforts.
Again, so you allege. I have no reason to believe you, you must realize.
Would you like me to show you where I'm from?
And how exactly would you intend to do that?
Take you there. Show you just how far I've traveled. Put your mind at ease since you're very nervous.
And leave the forest unguarded? You think me a fool?
Not at all. But it seemed polite to make the offer.
And what will it take for you to leave?
I'll leave if you'd prefer to be alone.
I would prefer to know you'll not harm my forest.
I have no intention of ever harming your forest. I know you have no reason to believe me, but it's true. I have a deep appreciation for your Avani favor and what you're doing.
So far, that seems to be true. If you'd like, you may take a few plants with you.
You'll let me make dye from one of the plants here?
One.
Oh, these can be made to make the most vibrant, beautiful colors.
You are certain that these are what you want?
Oh yes, that color.
Care for them well.
Oh, thank you, Althor.
You're welcome. Now leave.
Goodbye, Althor.
I said leave.
Right.
I do hope that you can forgive me.
Scene 11. 998 years ago. Heart of the Oberoni Forest. Lota, the Druid King, begins investigating the damages of the Blight attacking the crops of the area.
What do you mean the vegetables are doing worse?
I don't know what is happening. There is no blight. There aren't animals wandering nearer to our gardens. The vegetables are simply not growing.
But without vegetables, we, animals in surrounding areas. No, this unnatural presence must be the cause. We druids can push it back. We don't have a choice.
I'm sorry I don't bring better news.
I would rather know than be surprised. How this keeps getting into the borders of our tribe's lands, I simply do not understand. Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence. There. Tending to your garden over the next few days should be easier. Please tell me if you find trouble again.
Scene 12. Two of the Sama are walking through a forest. They discover there are druids living nearby.
Please tell me you heard that.
There is a settlement here.
Daddy, can I do it?
Of course. Good job.
When are you gonna teach me to do that?
If you want to try, we only need to find another area of blighted plants. Let's see if we can find some.
Yes!
Those were the thinnest wood elves I have ever seen.
And some of them were really dark-skinned and really light-skinned. That was a lot of variation for one father.
So you think there is a settlement nearby? A large one?
Or that man has several mates. But I'm more interested in not knowing exactly where that diverse of gene groupings happens in the world. Wood elves are xenophobic. That's why our king has had a difficult time getting druid blood in his heirs.
Should we press on?
Of course. Oh, right. We're in a disgusting foggy forest with dangerous reptiles.
Scene 13. 9.5 years ago. Saltwind Port. Tirtha and Kellman are setting up their wares for when the bazaar opens. Vipin, a traveling merchant, is walking through a bazaar in a trade city.
My apologies, miss. I didn't see you.
It's all right.
Oh, you're setting up. My apologies, miss. I should leave. Bless the body. She was gorgeous.
He was... wow. Tirtha!
What's wrong? Why are you panicking?
How did you talk to Althor when you first met him?
I'm so confused.
I saw the most handsome man and I couldn't even speak.
Oh, you have a crush. That's adorable. But you can just remember that handsome men are just as nervous around beautiful women as they make us feel.
Easy for you to say.
Scene 14. Present day, Sama Cave Settlement. The Sama begin discussing what to do about the druids that live nearby.
You're telling us that there are wood elves nearby?
We both saw them. They were doing something with the plants on the ground. We weren't close enough to see exactly what.
Exactly. They're wood elf druids. We may have ended up on one of the sacred domains.
No, we're nowhere near a druid domain. Our course was past several islands with a direct path to the Hajir Isles. And nothing but the Hajir and our people inhabit those islands.
How do you explain it then? I doubt we missed entire druid settlements when we were attempting to procure druid blood from the royal family heirs a few years ago.
I can't explain it, but truly, the only domain near the coast is the Narration domain. There are not enough mountains nearby, nor wandering orc tribes. But these cannot be wood elf druids.
They were too thin to have significant amounts of orc blood at that.
Regardless of all that, there is a small settlement nearby. We found some traps and gardens, so we should be able to live off of this. We do have pans to cook.
You're going to have to take us to where you found these.
We will, after we eat. But all of you need to be alert. Don't let them see you. Otherwise, we will need to begin hunting and gardening for ourselves.
Scene 15. 2 months ago, outskirts of the Sama Cave Settlement. The two leaders of the Sama begin discussing what they want to do about the druids, separate from the others.
You seem certain that there is druid blood among them. Just from watching them?
Many of the children not only reference Ivani, but they seem to be able to use her magic. So any of us who are loyal to our king, we can return with a wonderful gift.
That would mean we would need to find a way home. And none of us know how to build ships. It is not something we can risk failing at. Whomever is on board the ship could die.
I suppose you are right. You have considered bringing a druid back to the settlement, then?
It crossed my mind. But you are thinking too hard about this. Eventually, we can reach our homeland again. But our druid offering does not have to be a full-fledged wood elf druid. There are other ways to procure the druid bloodline.
You think they would willingly breed with us?
I haven't asked. But I cannot imagine a reason why they wouldn't agree to such marriages. All governments see them as politically sound, no?
Of course. So long as nobody goes back on their word openly. But there are no children here.
We'll have to tell the others about this and hear out their thoughts. But if we assume we're going to stay here for a long while, we might as well encourage breeding.
Exactly. But if they don't agree?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Scene 16. 15 years ago, Golden Plains Village. Vipin makes a crucial life decision.
Vipin sighed as he shouldered the bag he spent the past week packing in secret. He sighed as he walked from his room to the front door of his home, his eyes passing over and taking in the details of the familiar walls as he went. He shook his head, knowing his parents wouldn't miss him. Despite his talent as a hunter and a trapper, never once did they ever pay him the attention that they lavished upon his brother, whom had been discovered to have druidic talents from a young age. Not that he ever begrudged his brother for those abilities, the hunter believing them to be fascinating or inspiring himself. However, he had come to learn society would not see Vipin's own gifts as particularly worthwhile, especially in comparison to those of his brother. That was why he'd made the decision that he had. Leave his home and travel, living off the land on his own. He quietly opened the door and took one last look around before shaking his head once more and stepping outside, into the night and the beginning of his own new life.
Scene 17. Tirtha discovers there are vegetables missing from the garden.
Althor? Althor, did you collect any tomatoes or peppers after your walk last night?
No, I didn't. Why?
Oh, because I remember seeing more nearly ripe tomatoes and peppers yesterday that I was saving to pick for today.
That's odd. Plants don't just disappear like that.
Do you think Rurik, Izar, Vipin, Kellman, maybe one of the children took them?
That doesn't sound like something any of them would do. Not without our permission.
Given how early it is, they may have taken some without wanting to wake us.
Maybe. Still unlikely, though.
What else could it be?
Well, we could have thieves lurking about again. It's been quite some time since the last time. But
our children run freely through the forest. We can't hope to keep them peacefully inside until we catch the thief.
Right. The best we can do is let Vipin, Kellman, Rurik, and Izar know so that they can keep an eye out, and hope that they find the thief before our children do.
Any of the children finding the thieves would be bad, if that is in fact what's happening. I'm going to finish collecting food for lunch and dinner then. I think one of us needs to visit our friends.
Right. We can do that.
I hope the children were playing in the garden.
We both do.
More thieves in the area could be fairly bad.
It would be.
Stay within earshot in case there are thieves lurking around our home.
Of course, love.
Scene 18. Present day. Outskirts of the purified forest. Vipin discovers that his traps are empty of animals and bait.
Empty.
Yes, Vipin?
My traps were empty. Did you or Izar have anything to do with that?
Maybe no animals wandered into the area where you set traps?
They were empty, including bait.
Empty? Think a predatory reptile got into your traps then?
It would have set them off.
I'll just list my next few thoughts. One of the kids was playing around them, or there were thieves stealing from your traps like there were a few years back.
Oh no, the children know better. Which leaves us to the least savory explanation.
Some mage thieves were stealing from the nearby settlements. They even tried to steal from Althor, but it's been something like 10, 11 years.
I see. I suppose that it's possible we have new thieves to worry about.
Something is bothering me about that thought. If it was you, and you don't know how to hunt or trap for yourself, and you find a few traps with animals in them, why would you take all of the meat?
Not knowing any better? Or perhaps greed?
You would think they'd want to be subtle, but we also haven't seen them. If there are people running around, stealing from you, we shouldn't let the children wander freely.
Probably not. None of them are going to like this idea.
Have you spoken to Althor or Tirtha yet? Tegan is over there now.
I was hoping you just needed the meat, and that you or Izar had taken it. Althor doesn't eat it, so...
Yes, but since we have concluded that thieves are more likely than our children suddenly tampering with your traps or reptiles knowing how to not set them off, Izar, keep the kids inside. I need to talk to Althor and Tirtha.
All right.
There might be thieves in the forest. Somebody pilfered Vipin's traps. And now that I'm thinking about it, they may have taken some of our herbs.
I heard your conversation. Go talk to Althor. See what can be done.
The kids are going to hate us.
I know. It'll be unfortunate, but it's necessary.
I'll be back as soon as I can. Alright, we need to talk to Althor and Tirtha.
Yes, let's.
Scene 19. Present day. Purified forest. Rurik and Vipin go to tell Tirtha their beliefs about a thief.
Rurik, Vipin, welcome.
Of course you're in a good mood.
Ah, yes, when is she not?
Yes, but I meant that we now have to ruin that.
What do you mean?
Well, we think there may be thieves about. My traps were apparently poached.
Thieves? That explains our garden, I suppose.
You too?
A lot of our ripe fruits and vegetables were taken.
Ah, I see.
That does answer my question of if any of you needed fruits and vegetables and simply didn't want to wake us.
It does.
This is not good.
So we may want to watch the kids more closely until we figure this out.
Yeah, I know they'll hate that idea, but...
We'll need to only walk them over when they visit, and to not let them spend unsupervised time outside.
You do realize that all of our children love spending time outside, right?
I do, yes. But if you'd prefer, we can try to find the thieves and keep us from having to do that to our kids.
I do like the sound of that.
You're serious?
I am.
You want to walk through the swamp looking for thieves?
Unless you can think of a reason not to.
No, it will go faster than us hoping to stumble across them.
Excellent. Let's get going.
You don't think there should be some planning?
And how much planning do you need? We track them down. We find them. We make sure they learn not to steal from us again.
Where and how do you think we should start that? The forest alone is huge.
Let's start in the areas around my traps. See if we can find any sort of tracks to follow.
I suppose that's a good place to begin.
Or you can set bait in the traps and wait out the thieves.
That's also an option, I suppose.
Wait for Althor. Tell him about it. And the three of you can take care of the problem right then and there.
I suppose that makes the most sense.
Why don't we come back later, when Althor will be home? That will give us time to get everything together.
Right. And any idea about how long that would be?
A couple of hours. You have time.
So you want to do that?
I'd rather go and try and hunt them down now, but I suppose that works.
Right. But we can have a few things with us, to be more prepared. You have, whatever you use for bait?
I'll gather some things while we wait for Althor to return.
Go get ready. You may have to be up for the night, but that will be easy enough to handle for the three of you.
I suppose so. So we meet back here in a few hours?
I suppose so.
So I'll see you back here in a few hours?
You will.
Scene 20. Present day. Outskirts of the Purified Forest. Rurik discovers herbs missing from he and Izar's garden.
What? Izar?
Yes, love?
Did you start preparing lunch or dinner?
Not yet, no. Why?
And you didn't start any potions or anything?
Nothing I hadn't already been working on. Did more of our things go missing?
A bunch of our herbs were pulled from the planting pot. And if you didn't take them...
So the thieves struck again while I was busy doing work. Thank goodness the children are all inside.
Well, Tegan is with Althor. But yes, I think these are some bizarre thieves, though.
Why do you say that?
If they were only trying to survive, why would they steal herbs?
I have no idea.
With survival being the goal, why go out of your way to find spices?
Again, I have no idea.
Well, you don't. You worry about a food and water source, shelter, not stepping on adders.
So what are they doing stealing our herbs?
I really don't know, but that worries me. They can use them for cooking or as regents for potions.
That is true, but if they had the knowledge to make their own potions, they would likely be growing their own, not stealing somebody else's, wouldn't they?
They'd be living in their own settlement and sustaining their food there, not taking things from ours.
So this raises a large number of questions?
We're going to bait the traps and catch the thieves, though. I came here to pack what I'll need to be out all night.
All right. You be careful out there, okay?
I will. You and the kids will be all right while I'm gone.
You know full well that we will be.
I love you and I worry.
I know, sweetheart.
So I had to ask.
I know.
Well, I always worry about leaving you alone. And of course, I worry about our children.
I know, love. But we'll be fine, I promise.
Alright. I need to get my bag ready, so we can camp out secretly.
Alright, love.
I'll miss you. I'll work on this and try to deal with the thieves as soon as possible.
I know. But between you, Althor, and Vipin, it should be quick and easy to take care of this entire situation.
Right. I'll need some wine and food we don't need to cook since a fire might alert the thieves.
I'll go see what we have.
Scene 21. Present day. Outskirts of the Sama Cave settlement. 3 of the Sama leave late in the night to find food for the others.
Are you certain it's safe?
Reptiles can't see at night, so this is the safest night to go get food.
That, and we can't risk being seen by the druid. If he knows we are taking his food, the 8 gods can only tell what he'll do.
Scene 22. Present day, outskirts of the Purified Forest. Althor, Rurik, and Vipin are camped out in an attempt to catch the thieves.
Althor, Vipin.
Are you certain? The traps are around here?
Yes. Calm down. These traps are unguarded.
Warning shots or confront them.
Warning shot.
Try to get at least one in the leg. That ought to slow them down enough for us to chase after them this far back.
What happened?
Shot. What? Shot?
Let's go.
Thank you.
As he said, shall we join him?
I suppose.
We'll have you sit and wait until we have at least some food for today.
I thought you said reptiles can't see at night.
They can.
Then what did I just hear?
Drop your weapon.
Let's hope they're stupid or surprised enough to listen.
That answer your question?
Let's go.
I hope this helps.
Please don't be a fire.
There's at least one mage.
Stop!
Thank you, but we need to catch up.
Yes.
Disgusting. What is? This slimy water. We need to get back.
I said stop!
What was that?
You need to stop!
Who are you all, and what are you doing in our forest? Stealing from us?
Cormal was right. Multiple fathers.
So you think they are all druids?
Answer us!
I think we need to go. More slime!
Forget that! You're a mage! Get us out of here!
I need time!
Then start. Disgusting! This is everywhere!
Blessed Avani! The Blight is everywhere out here.
Is that the slime the one referred to?
I don't know. It might be. You all need to stop. You could well be in grave danger.
You need to stand still!
What are the chances they're going to attack us again?
I'd say fair.
Then mage, get us out of here!
They're in danger?
They are, and they need to stop.
Stop! That slime! It isn't what you think it is!
That's exactly what I'm afraid it is, isn't it?
It is.
Any chance you want to dispel the blight here?
I don't think we'll need to worry about thieves after today.
So you're fine with letting our kids outside without us again?
I suppose so.
I'm not. I don't trust them not to come back.
We do know what the Blight does, though, right? They're practically dead.
Well, we don't know what it does to people. The whole killing us almost instantly idea is just a theory.
I suppose.
After Althor dispels the Blight, we can head back. I plan to try finding them. They had to teleport somewhere.
Right. I'll come along with you.
Unforgiving and ever-changing is your essence.
Right. We know they were headed this way, so we can try to follow them. I'm sure camp in the middle of the swamp will stand out.
That makes sense. We'll find them.
Where did they even come from? And what were they?
I have no idea.
I've never seen anybody like them before.
Do you want to come with us? Come along and get rid of any blight they may have picked up.
That sounds like a good idea.
Well, this will be interesting, since they didn't seem to want to talk to us.
Unfortunately.
Let's get going.
Scene 23. 1 month ago. Outskirts of the Sama Cave settlement. Bayar and Diate discuss a way to get help for the stranded Sama.
You have been practicing building boats?
Of course. We don't want to be in this awful place forever.
You have been experimenting with making rafts?
We can figure out which wood works best for what we need it to do. This one is the one that floats the best so far.
And what exactly was your plan?
We send 2 with enough supplies to make it to our homeland, or to a place where they can board a ship to take them home. After that, they come back for the rest of us. Nothing too thought out.
And how long before we assume they died or are stranded elsewhere?
Probably a month. I know it's not perfect, but none of us want to be here anymore. This place is humid, foggy, and filled with everything that can kill us if we touch it.
I suppose you have a point. But why aren't these rafts bigger? Since they'll need to hold 2 people and supplies.
These rafts were only to test and see what floats. We hadn't planned on them being the final product.
Right.
What is it?
The question becomes who we send home.
Scene 24. 9.5 years ago. Saltwind Port. Rurik is preparing to leave a bookstore with his latest purchase. Izar was about to ask him to dinner, but he left the store before she had the chance to approach him.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello there.
Hello.
I couldn't help but notice you bought a few things at the store. Mind showing me?
You want me to show you books?
Uh-huh.
Here.
Ooh, these are good ones.
So you've read these titles then?
I wrote half of them.
You're telling me you write these?
Uh-huh.
And you wanted to know who reads the books you write?
Well, it's not often that I see handsome men like you that's so interested in them. I saw you in there debating them all for gods only know how long.
Handsome?
Uh-huh, handsome.
Me?
Unless you see anybody else talking to me about my books right now.
You think I'm handsome?
I do.
Is that all you wanted?
Well, I wouldn't mind company for dinner.
You want to have dinner with me?
I do. I'll even pay if that's a problem.
It's not. I've never been asked.
A handsome man like you has never been asked out? Okay, we're changing that right now. I know just the place, too.
All right.
You could be a little bit more excited than that.
I'm Rurik.
Izar.
And you realize I'm a swamp elf, right?
So what? Handsome is handsome.
Most women are, well, put off by that.
Well, most women are wrong then. Which is all the better for me, since that means I get you all to myself.
You're saying that like you expect more than dinner.
Or like I know I don't have to worry about women fawning all over you at dinner.
I see.
Anyway, let's go.
Scene 25. Present-day Stormtide Beach. The Sama, having just escaped pursuit, continue home to the cave settlement.
So mages, druids? Why were they out? Why? I thought...
They never have been before. But we got away from them.
Yeah! That slime! So disgusting.
Why are you scratching so much?
It's like that slime was dripping from the leaves above me. Ow!
What? What now?
It's burning! Oh, in the name of the gods!
Do something! Like what? I don't know. The water! Wash it off!
It stopped.
What in the name of the Creator God was that?
I don't know. Do you think one of them did this to him?
We need to tell the others that we don't have any food from today, though. Let us return to the cave.
I don't know what this was. I never want it to happen again.
It did look unpleasant. I am sorry it happened to you.
We can have one of the mages who can heal or dress your wounds.
I need it. I don't know what this is.
Scene 26. 2 weeks ago, outskirts of the purified forest. 2 thieves work on gathering food others have taken the time to procure.
At least they have added to the food we can take. Nothing.
Sometimes animals simply don't fall into traps, so we see what their fish traps have in the nearby stream. If those are empty, we steal from the gardens and make do until we can steal some meat. But I'm personally tired of no meat.
I miss meat too, but there's no bait in this trap. Whomever sets them always puts bait in them again. And we need to hurry. It's almost daybreak.
Right. We don't want to fight the one mage again, since we can't continually conjure magic.
As soon as I figure out how he does that, I can't believe he did that!
We never intended to see him again, so calm down. So let's continue trying to find food.
Scene 27. 2 weeks ago, Stormtide Beach. Chalmer and Korma see off the Sama who are rafting home for help.
What do we do now?
We simply return to what we've been doing.
Right.
We should go in and pray, and hope they send a ship.
Of course.
Scene 28. 1 week ago, outskirts of the Purified Forest. 2 thieves run into an issue with stealing their food.
You seem certain this will work.
They need food too. Let's go.
Hey, get back here!
Damn thief.
Ah! This was a good plan. Smart. If we keep waiting, we can catch the thief.
Oh, you're right. That is a good idea.
But this time we scare them off with some Barbus spells. Make them never want to come back here again.
Oh.
Do you think we should follow that? Whatever it was.
I suppose so. If we can find out where they are, we will be able to deal with those thieves better.
It went toward the beach when I lost it.
I could only get a little.
There are so many of us. We have to eat.
But there were people there again. I didn't have the strength to run and fight.
I will tend to the sick. You need to find some food somehow.
I will find something.
Scene 29. Present day, outskirts of the Purified Forest. Kellman decides to get up early and check the traps for meat. She encounters something unexpected.
Mommy, the monster!
Monster? You mean alligator? Well, why are you children up this early and outside? We told you to stay inside until we found the thieves.
We heard our dads talking about the monster.
We wanted to help catch it.
Are there any more of you looking for the monster?
No, just us. But the monster.
We're safe, Iva.
Go. All 3 of you to my house. You lock the door and stay there until one of your parents arrives.
But we want to help, and we found the monster. It was down the path under the bushes.
Travkin, go with Nye and Iva. You've helped enough.
Come on. Our moms and dads can beat the monster.
If they saw a person, why would they say it was a monster?
Scene 30. 2 years ago, outskirts of the Purified Forest. Kellman and Vipin watch 2 of the children interact.
See? It will keep your hair out of your eyes. And it won't stick to your neck in the summer.
Uh-huh.
What? Isn't he a little young for a crush?
What's the matter, my love?
Nye has a crush. He's 4.
So he's precocious. It's cute. And given how much time they spend together, are you really surprised?
Right. But I now know how we're getting him to brush his hair and take regular baths.
Scene 31. Present day, Purified Forest. Tirtha begins waking her children for breakfast.
Help yourself, kids.
Come on, Urbane, there's fresh cinnamon bread. Breakfast is ready, sweetheart.
Okay, Mommy.
I didn't even have to tell her about the cinnamon bread. Iva? Iva! Iva! Iva!
Scene 32. Present day, outskirts of the purified forest. Kellman begins discussing with the children what happened to them.
What happened while you were outside?
We were trying to help guard the traps, and when we got there, we heard footsteps. Then the monster jumped out at us.
I didn't want the bird monster to take you!
The bird monster?
The monster that appeared out of the darkness? The monster we ran from? No.
No, the monster wasn't a bird.
What?
It was scaled, like an adder, but it had arms and big teeth and nails.
No, it was like a bird and a person had a giant baby. You saw that, right?
No, I didn't.
You two saw two different things. What about you, Travkin?
It had big ears and teeth and nails. And it was gray and white and hairy, and it roared.
So you saw monsters and you took off running together.
And then we found you, Mommy, and the traps had food in them because the monster chased us. I'm in trouble.
Good morning.
Can you stay awake a little longer? Something happened.
Oh, in the name of Oberoni, what happened?
3 of the kids left to help you find the monsters. All 3 of them have a different account of a monster they saw, and the traps down the path from here were pilfered. And I'm going to take the others home, but given everything, I don't want to leave any of the children alone.
I can stay awake. Go ahead and take them home. Our attempts to catch the thieves did us little good. They had that mage that teleported them away from us as we were closing in. We tried to follow, but we couldn't find anything.
You hit at least one?
Yes, of course.
Good. I'll be back soon, though.
I'll come visit you soon.
All right.
Do you want to explore again? It was fun until the monster.
We can do that.
Come on. I'll be back soon.
So, Mom told you.
I know you want to be big and strong and brave to protect Iva, but you can be like that when you're older, and when you're bigger, and after we've gone hunting.
We found the monster that's been stealing our meat.
Promise me you won't go looking for monsters or animals that can hurt you just to impress Iva.
Okay.
Good. At least none of you were hurt.
Scene 33. Present day, purified forest. Rurik comes home and finds Izar panicked.
Rurik, Travkin's gone.
What now?
Travkin, I went to check on him and he's missing.
Our son is... It's too early for him to be outside.
I know that.
We need to talk to Tirtha and Kellman. Travkin? Travkin!
I'll stay here to keep an eye on the others.
Daddy?
Oh, thank the gods.
Travkin, Nye, and Iva decided to help you look for the thieves. I found them running from...
It was a monster!
From something. I'm taking Iva home too. Vipin is sitting with our children.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Of course, Rurik. You should take him home, though.
Izar is panicked and worried. You scared us both.
But Daddy, the monster!
We can talk about it later.
Scene 34. Present day, purified forest. With their son back at home, Rurik decides to sleep.
Oh, thank the gods!
He and some of the other kids decided to go hunt for the thieves themselves.
That was sweet of you, honey, but please don't do that again.
I love you both, but I haven't slept.
Set Travkin down and go get some sleep.
Right. Discipline and rules.
Scene 35. Present-day Purified Forest. Kellman returns Iva to her father.
Don't worry, we're almost there.
Eva?
Oh, good.
Oh, thank Avani.
She's asleep, but she, Nikitan, and Travkin decided to help you look for the thieves. All three of them claim to have seen a monster.
I see I'll have to make sure she does not do that again once she wakes up.
All three of the kids claim to have seen a different kind of monster.
That's peculiar, but something to worry about only after I've had some sleep.
Right. Well, nothing happened to them. You have Iva, and I'm sure you're exhausted. Go home, get some rest.
Thank you, Kellman.
Why would they claim to have seen 3 different monsters?
Again, that's a problem for when I've had sleep.
Scene 36. 6 months later, Stormtide Beach. A rescue party arrives to bring the Sama home.
You think they left? Or died?
There should be some indication that something living had been here. It was possible they had their own cave. There may have been any number of rock formations and caves on the island populated by swamp elves. Move this! Are you all that's left?
They gone.
Sama? Yes, we were sent here to bring back the survivors. It's safe. We have a boarding party, weapons, and we are taking the living home.
Don't touch the mud or dust.
I didn't touch it.
Right. It melts you.
It melts you? If you want to return home, wear it. Let's go.
Scene 37. Later that day, Stormtide Beach Bay. The rescue party attempts to discern what happened to the missing Sama.
They melted.
Yes. It was slow. It was like acid. It burned them. And anybody who helped them was melted away too.
It's true. It's true. It sounds unreal, but it happened. We saw it again.
I see.
The dust. The dust.
What about the dust?
The dust is them.
The dust is them. Who is them?
The ones who didn't make it.
Oh.
They were melted and turned to dust.
They were melted and turned to dust. They were melted and turned to dust.
Scene 38. Present-day Purified Forest. The thieves rejoice, having found ripe vegetables.
Oh, they're ripe! Oh, why aren't you helping?
I know it's dark, but something about this place seems familiar. But I'm not entirely certain why.
Who cares? We've probably stolen from them before. But we have sweet fruit here. We'll get to enjoy that for breakfast.
I suppose. That sounds delicious.
Alright, let's go. Since the dead people on the beach took our home, we still need to find another.
Right.
Scene 39. Later that morning, Purified Forest. Tirtha finds thieves in a trap that was set to catch them.
All right. You can come with us while we check the garden. And if you want to walk with your dad while he does his rounds, you can.
Yes, that will be fun. And the flowers are so pretty.
The nearby deer, rodents, and birds wouldn't have taken all the ripe ones.
What is it, Mom?
The chances
What's Mom doing?
I don't know, Iva.
Use more magic! I am. Magic still isn't working.
Rurik and Vipin came through.
Who are they, and why are they in our forest?
I think we may have found our thieves.
Thieves? Oh, in the name of the 13 gods.
Scene 40. Later that night, Purified Forest. Althor and Tirtha discuss the events of the past few days.
So those mages were right about everything?
There was dust. Some bones of people. There was a garden and a lake they made inside a cave on the beach. You can tell people were there at some point.
That sounds horrible.
It was. You said you figured out something else?
Yes, the 2 mages caught in the netting, they used fear magic. That's why the 3 children saw a different monster. They really encountered those mages that morning.
Huh. I suppose that makes sense.
And we should not have to worry about the mages that much. A large portion of their home village was wiped out from starvation. A famine caused by something that had afflicted their village's gardens. They were among the only survivors who spent their lives stealing from others to live.
They didn't think to ask to be assimilated into a village?
I asked. They said they were young and it didn't occur to them to do that. By the time they did, they were already accustomed to being thieves and wanderers.
And now?
I had Izar and Kellman take them to Seabreeze village. They said they liked the water, so a village floating on water seemed perfect.
That does sound perfect for them, then.
What about the Blight? Do you think Izar was right?
If it does not age everything rapidly, I cannot explain what Rurik, Vipin, and I saw on the beach today.
I suppose that makes sense. At least we know it's safe for our children to wander the forest as they please again.
Yes, and they will all be pleased to hear that.
Scene 41. 9 years later, Purified Forest expanse. 4 of the gods watch the swamp's residents. Here they are discussing mortals, mortal nature, and why they either watch or interact with mortals.
This will be fun to watch. No 2 interactions are ever the same.
You truly love mortals, then?
How would we not? They are entertaining when they're good, when they're bad, when they are trying to win wars or the love of another. And they find creative ways to worship us.
I suppose you have a point.
And without their belief in us, we might not be powerful and able to be here, watching what they do.
And that is a fair point. Is that why you are here?
I want to know what has happened with my descendants. As do you.
Of course. I have given favors to the family that call themselves Grimleaf for hundreds of years. I want to know that my gifts have been given to those worthy of wielding them. Druid families have become unwieldy in other parts of the world, and less amusing to watch when everybody there has my gifts.
I suppose not everybody is happy to have a favor, especially the mortals that have been deemed the consecrated with many favors.
Some find these things to be a curse, like my favors.
Surely some of the mortals you have touched with your gifts appreciate them.
Just one. I gave her a favor. She has had horrendously bad things happen to her, and seemingly impossible coincidences, and wonderful things. And she is happy. She is grateful for my gift. She has never once damned my name.
Is that what brings you here? That mortal woman there?
Yes. I am fascinated. She seems to always be happy. Her parents died, and she miraculously survived the same ailment. She was left alone in the world with no guidance or love, and she thought herself lucky.
She found one of my grandchildren entirely by luck, and they fell in love and have children, and soon, grandchildren.
You want me to be optimistic about mortals, then?
If that mortal woman can see your domain as a boon in her life, then others can too. Perspectives change. Mortals do too.
Perhaps one day time could be seen as a precious resource to not be wasted? That knowing there is an end will make mortals want to enjoy the experience of existence, to love and give, or take and hate. Whatever they feel, to do it, and to not lament what they could not do. That maybe, you think, that one day these mortals will appreciate that they got to live many days and do whatever fleeting thoughts or interests they could?
Of course. If that mortal woman there has a different perspective on Sadat, why would others one day not see you differently?
Maybe we should talk to mortals about what we want.
It works for me. I ask mortals for things, and they do them. In exchange, I give them favors.
So you think we should appear to mortals, and give them gifts, and tell them our desires?
It does work for me. Thieves everywhere chant my name. Those who want privacy and secrecy, and who enjoy the mysteries of life, revere me. And I have clerics, those with my favors and consecrated who bear my mark.
Could they have a consecrated child?
Well, her mother is consecrated. So is she. What is making you so curious?
I wonder if all four of us should favor their child, just to see what happens.
Their child would be a druid with my favor. And this area has become revitalized over the past several generations.
I love this idea. With a dad being a hunter, the child could be the stealthiest hunter. A beautiful manifestation of my domain.
I would love to, as the mortals call it, favor my grandchild.
So we do that then. We watch their child, our consecrated, and see what happens.
It gives us something to do for 100 years.